Hello friends, my name is Kisan and welcome you in this video tutorial. In this video tutorial we are going to discuss how to integrate a Spring 4 with Hibernate 5. So if you go to the Spring website, then you can see a Spring is having latest binary is 4.3.8. This binary I have downloaded in my local machine. So you can see a Spring 4.3.8 release version I have downloaded and just I have extracted in my local machine. So you can see a Spring 4.3.8. so you require the latest distribution of a Spring so that you can download from a Spring website. Now next, if you go to the Hibernate website, then you can see on the top Hibernate latest version is 5.2.10, right? And that is the latest version which was released on 14th April 2017, right? So just around 1 month back, right? So I have downloaded this stable version 5.2.10 and that I have kept in my local machine, right? You can see over here, and I have extracted this distribution, so you can see. So now you require to take required files from these two distribution, right? So if you go to the Hibernate release 5.2, then we have a lib, and in this lib you need to take this much file only to perform integration with Hibernate, right? So I have took this file. So yeah, so you will have to take this jars, and again you need to pick some jars from the Hibernate, right? So those jars also I have taken from the Hibernate latest version. And as we know that Spring has external dependency on common loggers, so we require the common loggers jars as well. And here I am going to talk to the one of the RDBMS is called MySQL, so MySQL jars also required. So all those jars I have kept in this folder, and if you can see there are around 20 jars. So unnecessary jars I have removed, only required jars just I have collected to show this demo. So these jars I have already copied in this lib folder, right? And these jars I have added in my class path. So you can see reference library, this jars is reflecting over here to show this demo. And here in database I have a I'm using MySQL database, and this is basically Toad, which you can integrate with the MySQL, so that will give you the nice UI there. You can write different kind of query, and you can perform different kind of CRUD operation basically, right? So if you go to this table is already, and it contains two records, and my database schema name is Spring with JDBC So this is I'm going to use for my this demo purpose. Now we have a high database.properties. There I have kept my driver class name, database URL, username and password, everything as a key value pairs, right? So in this beans.xml there I have declared all Spring beans. So you can see start from here. So here first of all I have configured my data source. Data source requires 4 information, right? Driver, class name, database URL, username, password, and these things we are just reading from the property file from database.properties, right? So in this fashion, and to make it working you need to configure one Spring bean is called property placeholder configurer, and there you need to specify location of your property file. So for that I have configured this bean. Yeah, now I have another bean is called employee service IMPL, right? So you can see employee service IMPL is implement this interface which holds 3 method declaration. It's an abstract method, and this class implement this interface, so that's why this class has to implement these 3 methods, right? And in top I have declared DAW reference and corresponding setter method. So I'm making use of this DAW to call DAW layer method from service, right? So add employee calling create employee, which is available in the DAW layer, right? And corresponding like get employee ID and get employees details, we are making call from here. And this class I have registered as a Spring bean, right? And this bean has a dependency on employee DAW. So the employee DAW I have injected using setter based dependency injection. This is referring to the another bean is called employee DAO, right? So here again employee DAO is dependent, and this is the pretty important. So here employee DAO I have declared session factory and corresponding setter getter method, right? And this session factory you need to inject using setter based dependency injection, right? So again session factory I have covered, I have configured here, right? So you need to specify this local session factory bean which belongs to the Hibernate 5 package, because this is the integration of a Spring 4 to Spring 5, right? And this local session factory beans requires some property to be injected. So first property, data source. I have this data source already we have configured in beginning itself, here itself, so that reference you need to specify. Again one of the properties annotated classes. Annotated classes you need to list down all your entity class. So in this case we have only one entity class, Hibernate entity class. If you have more than one, then you can configure those all entity class value tag you can write repeatedly. Now next, Hibernate specific properties you need to specify. So Hibernate dialect, HBM to DDL, auto, show SQL and format SQL. I hope you are pretty much aware about this. If you are not, then please go through my previous video. There I have coded these things from scratch, right? So earlier I had posted in Spring 4 integration with Hibernate 3 videos, and there I have coded everything from scratch, right? So I hope you understood this configuration file. Now from this, now if you look into the dog classes, then you can see the implementation of dog classes. Create employee, what I am doing, so I have used try with resources. Here just I'm getting a session by calling get session method, and just I'm opening a new session, right? I have used try with resources, so you don't need to close session in finally block, right? This will automatically will be closed. If you go to the session interface and if you look, this implements auto closable, right? So you can use as a try with resource. Now we have beginner transactions. Now we are just trying to save employee instance into the database, and finally we are just committing, right? So that's pretty straightforward. Create employee. Now get employee ID. So to get information from the database, for reading purpose you don't require transactions, so session is enough. So session as a method is called get. There you are passing a class and a primary key, and you are getting the employee, and that you are returning to the caller. Now get all employees details, right? So you get the sessions. From session, just I'm calling a method is called create query, and here I have written something is called HQL, Hibernate query language, right? So from employee, here from employee, so this will internally convert into select star from employee by the Hibernate itself, and just you are calling list method on query, and this list is going to return to the caller. Pretty straightforward, right? Now let's run this program and try to understand how is it working. Now I have a client program over here, and client program just start from the first API, create employee. So create employee, let's change this value. So currently I have two records, Martin and Sean, right? Now I'm going to neo Murphy, and let's say is female, and salary is 85,000, and let's run. This is taking a little more time. So see, Hibernate 5 behave little differently, right? Here it's saying that select, this is try to select primary key from existing table, right? Even though primary key generation algorithm I have given as, if you go to the entity class, I have given that auto, right? That should not create a separate table for this, but in Hibernate 5 that implementation got changed. That's why that is creating extra table to maintain a primary key. And finally data is getting inserted. Let's check it out, and if you refresh, then see one more record is neo Morphe is getting inserted, right? So this insert is working pretty fine. So let me comment this code, and next I'm going to call get employee by ID. So get employee by ID, we are passing employee service, and in beginning we are making use of employee service, calling fetch employee by ID, and we are passing ID as a 7. Let me look, 7 is there. Now this will make call to the service layer, and service layer will call to the DAW layer, right? Sorry, service layer will call to the DAW layer, and DAW layer implementation will be executed, right? And this will return employee object to the service, service will return to the caller, right? Client program. So let's run this and check it out. So get employee by ID is working very fine. So we got the employee's information with employee ID 3, sorry, with employee ID 7. Now last but not the least, we have a fetch all employees info. So this will basically trying to fetch all employees information from the database, right? And here we are this dog class is going to return us list of employees from the database, and that list of employees just we are printing over here. So if I run it, then I can see so we got the list of employees from the database. So I hope you understood this demo project, how to integrate a Spring 4 with Hibernate 5. Hibernate 5 is pretty new in right now, right? So that is released just 1 month before. So you'll get very less support for Hibernate 5 on internet right now, right? So you will have to do a lot of R&D yourself, right? So I hope you understood this demo, and you should be confident how to configure a Spring with Hibernate, Spring 4 with Hibernate 5. And this code I am going to upload on the GitHub along with all jars, included jars, so that you can download and you can run on your machine. But before running this code on your machine, make sure that you have created a schema with some like a Spring with JDBC, or if you create a schema with some other name, then change this name, change these things accordingly, right? Whatever is the port number and whatever the password, you need to change it properly, then try to run it. Okay, so thanks for watching this video, and see you in next video tutorial.